Welcome to part 2 of Awareness Gives You Absolute Freedom. So, in part 1, we became aware through our breath that we're not our body, that our body is just like an incubator or container collection of holographic representations of our emotions and their vibrations. So, what happens is we live in a prison of unwanted emotions and life circumstances that those unwanted emotions will create for us. So we give ourselves a sentence, and sometimes it's lifelong sentence. So how to escape that prison? The first step that I have is to start or stop identifying with those negative emotions so much. Usually, we hear all the time people saying, I am sad, I am angry, I have depression, I have anxiety, I am irritated, right? So when you say I am, you're taking that negative emotion, that negative state as part of yourself. It's almost like you're inviting it in, making a label out of it and putting a little label on, and now it's here to stay, right? So that's very much identifying with it. What happens here is not only that it becomes you, which is false, it's not true, but it becomes you, and also your mind starts to identify with it also, and it will create, your mind will start creating negative thoughts about yourself, about others, about the world, regarding that emotion that is alive within you that you took on as yourself. After the mind creating the thoughts, thoughts are energy also, right? So the more you think a thought, the more you identify with it, think it, the more it becomes your belief. And then you can live for the rest of your life having a negative belief that does not serve you, that it's just got created through you taking on a label of a certain negative emotions, right? So it's very important to disidentify with it. So, for example, instead of saying I am angry, it's more beneficial to you to say I feel anger. I feel sadness within me. I feel anxiety coming up, right? And so forth and so forth. So that's very important, and that's already is gonna create that space between what you feel and what you think you are, and that's where the healing starts. So that's the first step. The second step is actually to start and really go into what's happening with your body, all the reactions in your body, symptoms of you feeling that negative emotion, negative state within. So, for example, if you start feeling fear or anxiety, through breath, try to connect to yourself, to your body, and notice where you're feeling that in your body and what symptoms are you feeling. Some people might say, oh, my throat's starting to close up, it becomes dry, I can't breathe, I have a shallow breath, I'm getting a headache, I have tightness in my muscles, whatever that would be for you. But just the process of you trying to discover that, being with that emotion as it's happening, observing it and observing the process that's going on in your system is going to start to release it, because that emotion, that vibration, that low vibration that sits within your program, within your body, is not going to have such a hold on you anymore. So it's kind of like a low vibrational signature. You can call it an energy block, right? Where it's darker, it's low vibration, and it becomes activated and active within you. Now, when you use your awareness, when you're observing it, looking at it, trying to understand it, realize on a conscious level that you are not it, that it's just a programming within you, then it's almost like by doing that, you're shining a light of awareness, shining light, divine light on that collection, that blockage of negative energies. And what's going to happen is you just doing that, which seems very quite simple and not sure how it's going to help, it's going to make tremendous difference, especially if you become habitual in doing it, right? So let's remember about the wording that you're gonna say. You feel certain emotions, not that you are them. It's the first step. Second step is to bringing more awareness, observing. And I know at the beginning, sometimes especially when we're dealing with those very dynamic emotions that take over us very often, like anger or fear sometimes, it's quite difficult at the beginning to be present with them, because they almost take over us and we have no control, or it seems that we have no control over it. But the more you do it, the more light you shine onto the vibration that you're feeling, the easier it will be, and the more free you will feel, because you will know that there's something that you can do about it. So there's that helplessness that I see in many clients, that I cannot help it, I cannot do anything about it, will start to disappear. And that is my wish for you. Now, it's important for us to bring awareness in our life on many levels of our life. Here we're talking about emotions, and the prison of negative emotions. The more aware we are of those negative emotions, negative programming, the less we will have an ability to hurt others. Very often in the taken over the negative emotions when you are in it, when you're so angry you cannot do anything about it, when that programming has been running for many months, many years maybe, without awareness, it becomes strong. And the things that you say and the things that you do while you under the influence of that emotion very often hurts people, hurts yourself, hurts others, and especially people close to you, close to us, right? Especially our families. The more awareness we have, the more light we bring, light understanding, the more we know that it's not a sentence of lifetime of living with those negative emotions. The more peaceful, the more free our life will be. So I invite you to think about it. Bring more awareness into your life and in those emotions. Of course, I do provide therapy as far as negative emotions, and sometimes what happens is it's not only one emotion, but then there's another one that connects to it, and then there's a third one, and so they become sometimes more complex units of vibrations, but this is what I do, to go to the emotion, through the body, to the very first event that caused that event, to release that emotion. So whatever is there needed, I am here to help. In meantime, I invite you to bring awareness to your body, to your emotions, with these tips that I'm leaving here with you, and free ourselves. Let's free ourselves from negative emotions through awareness to absolute freedom. Namaste.